Hello everyone, welcome to our lesson on reading comprehension. Today we are looking at cause and effect. Let's look at this story. It is a very sunny and hot day. You are eating an ice cream, but you are eating it very quickly. Why? Because the ice cream will melt. Why will the ice cream melt? Because it is very hot. Ice cream melts when it is hot. So how do we eat ice cream in hot weather? We eat the ice cream very fast. Why? Because the ice cream will melt otherwise. Why? Because it is a hot and sunny day. So a hot and sunny day is causing the ice cream to melt. And because the ice cream is melting, you are eating the ice cream very fast. So we see that we have the reason of a hot and sunny day, and the result is that the ice cream is melting. Then we have the reason of ice cream is melting, and the result, we are eating the ice cream very fast. Which brings us to our objective today. We will be able to understand what is a cause and what is an effect and identify them in a sentence. What is a cause? It is the reason why something happened. Effect? It's the result. What happened? Cause happens first and the effect follows it. But when we are looking at a sentence, that may not be the order, as we will see as we go through our lesson today. Let us look at our ice cream problem again. The result. What happened? Eat ice cream very fast. Why it happened? What is the reason? Otherwise, the ice cream will melt. So, the effect is we are eating the ice cream very fast. And what is the cause? The ice cream is melting because it is very hot. Finally, we are also getting ice cream on my clothes. Why are we getting ice cream on my clothes? Because I am not eating the ice cream very fast. So, I get ice cream on my clothes is an effect. The result, what happened, and eat ice cream very fast now becomes the reason, the cause. Let us look at the ice cream problem again. The result. What happened? The ice cream melts very fast. Why it happened? Because it is very hot and sunny. So the effect is ice cream is melting very fast, and the cause is because it is hot and sunny. Now let us see if we can give some examples of cause and effect. This is something we will discuss in our class in a group. I will send out our discussion in the chat after the class. You can pause and think of some examples of cause and effect if you want to. Let us do this activity. Arrange this cause and effect into a story. You can use some or all of the points. So you can see there are many points on the screen. There was a hump on the road. I tripped and fell. I was very afraid. I could not see where I was going. It was raining very heavily. The street was flooded. There was no electricity. The electricity pole was broken. It was very dark. So you can see there are a number of sentences on the screen. So what you have to do is you have to identify what is the cause and what is an effect and try to build a story from it. So I will give you 5 minutes to do this, and while you are doing this, you can pause the video and write down your answers. Once you have finished, you can come back and start watching the video again. So this is one story I wrote, a very short story. It was very dark and the street was flooded. So these are not cause and effect. These are just two separate sentences. So what happened because of this? I could not see where I was going. I could not see where I was going because it was very dark. I could not see where I was going because the street was flooded. So there are two causes to this effect. I was very afraid. Why was I afraid? Because I could not see where I was going. So the cause is I could not see where I was going, and what is the effect? I was afraid. Let's look at another short story. It was raining very heavily. So this is the cause. The electric pole was broken and the street was flooded. So because it was raining very heavily, the electric pole was broken and it was raining very heavily. That's why the street was flooded. So these are the two effects. There was no electricity. Why? Because the electric pole was broken. The electric pole was broken is the cause. There was no electricity is the effect. It was very dark. Why was it dark? Because there was no electricity. So there was no electricity is the cause and it was very dark is the effect. It was very dark and the street was flooded. I could not see where I was going. So the cause is it was very dark and the street was flooded. And what is the effect? I could not see where I was going. Let's go to another story. There was no electricity and it was raining very heavily. These are two causes. There was no electricity and that is why it was very dark. So the cause is there was no electricity and the effect is it was very dark. It was raining very heavily and that is why the street was flooded. So the cause is it was raining very heavily. The effect is the street was flooded. I could not see where I was going. So this is the effect. And what is the cause? It was very dark and the street was flooded. There was a hump on the road. I tripped and fell. So why did I trip and fall? Because I could not see where I was going and there was a hump on the road. I tripped and fell. So the effect is I tripped and fell and the cause is I could not see where I was going and there was a hump on the road. Next we will see how we use cause and effect in a sentence. So I picked up 2 points from our story. It was raining very heavily. The street was flooded. We will see how we can use these 2 points in sentences for cause and effect. The street was flooded because it was raining very heavily. As it was raining very heavily, the street was flooded. It was raining very heavily. Therefore, the street was flooded. It was raining very heavily. That is why the street was flooded. It was raining very heavily. Hence, the street was flooded. So, in all these 5 sentences, we have used the cause and the effect. What is the cause? It was raining very heavily. And what is the effect? The street was flooded. But we have used the cause and the effect in different ways in the sentences. And how have we used it? We have used some special words to describe that they were cause and effect. So these words are because, as, therefore, that is why, hence. Also you can see that the cause and the effect does not come like first and second in a sentence. You can look into some of the sentences like the first one. The street was flooded because it was raining very heavily. Here the effect is coming at the beginning of the sentence. But if you look at the second one, as it was raining very heavily, the street was flooded. Here you can see that the effect is coming at the end. Let us look at something. It was raining very heavily. The street was flooded. So in this sentence, these 2 sentences, I have not joined them by any special words. But even without that, I can understand that the cause is it was raining very heavily and the street was flooded. Let us look a little bit in more detail on how we can use a cause and effect in a sentence. So this time I have just picked up 2 words, heavy rains and street flooded. Let us see how we use them in a sentence. Due to the heavy rains, the street is flooded. The street is flooded due to the heavy rains. As a result of the heavy rains, the street is flooded. If there is heavy rains, the street will be flooded. Because of the heavy rains, the street is flooded. When there is heavy rain, the street is flooded. So here you can see all the words that we have used also tells us that there is a cause and effect. So the different words that we can use is due to, as a result, if, because of, when. So these are the ways we can build cause and effects in a sentence. We can use some special words as well. The more you learn, the more you read, the more you will be familiar with these words and how to use them in cause and effect. So what have we learned today about cause and effect? Cause, it is the reason. Effect is the result. Cause and effect can appear in any order in a sentence, but a cause comes first and an effect comes next. This is how we understand. But when we are writing, cause and effect can appear in any order in a sentence. So we have to understand when we are reading what is the cause and what is the effect. Cause and effect sentences use some specific words. So for example, because of, therefore, as, due to, therefore, if, then, that is why, hence. So you don't have to remember all these words, but as you read more, you will be getting used to these words and you don't have to remember them all. They will just come automatically to you when you are reading a sentence or writing a sentence. So that is all about cause and effect today. Next, we will have an assessment and I will send you the link in the chat to give the assessment.